Our partners at BetOnline continue to be the #1 source for all your betting needs and sports info. Hey y'all, it's your man Lloyd Spence, and look, you can find all of the latest sports developments, including updated odds on the NBA and NHL playoffs, Major League Baseball, fights, and even next season's NFL futures, all at BetOnline, because BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports wagering needs, including live betting and your favorite Vegas casino and poker games. So, very easy. It's very, very easy. All you have to do is go to the website today and use your mobile device to join and use our promo code BELIEVE, B-L-E-A-V, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just go to BetOnline. It's where the game starts.
Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Yeah.
I can. So you can get this groove in the back of a can. Put the big around the world and the moves in your hand. Popcorn world. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. I said popcorn make you smile. Ah. Yeah, popcorn world. Popcorn world. Popcorn world. It's a popcorn world. It's a popcorn world.
What's that saying? Breaking down the rumor and smelling out. Speaking for the people who must go around. Taking truth to power. The whisper and the shout. We're talking noise. Oh yeah, talking noise. Hey yeah, say it again, say. We're talking noise. Yeah, talking noise. Really don't have time to fool around. Never noise keeps us lined up. When truth divine, the sound that you hear is the sound of success. We're talking noise. Oh yeah, talking noise. Yeah, picking up all the sound. We're talking noise. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Talking noise. Say it again. We're talking noise.
Welcome to Talkin NOIZ, the daily podcast that brings you up to speed and keeps you informed about real issues affecting real people. With your host, Mr. Talkin NOIZ himself, Lloyd Spence. His beautiful wife, Mrs. Noise, Kenyatta Spence. The ever-informed Brother Noise, Alan Brown. And yours cordially, Uncle Noise, Shake Anderson. Come on in and join us as we reveal and opine today's most pressing issues. Real truth while having real fun. Talkin NOIZ is in your house right now. So sit back and enjoy Talkin NOIZ.
Once again, when my wife says she needs backup, she runs to her Zeta sorority and bombards the show with blue and white. I like it though.
You're welcome. What the problem is?
I say I don't like it. I do like it.
I know it makes you wonder where the bros at, don't it?
I didn't know it doesn't. I know where the bros at. They're hard working. They out here in these streets.
Hey.
Get things done.
We hard working too.
Nobody said if you was high. You asked me where the bros was at. I told you.
I'm just saying, Zetas make
You know
time
what?
for Zeta stuff.
I didn't ask the bros. I didn't ask the bros to come now. I got other bros that are coming.
Oh, she got time today. Silver got time
She's a little
today.
froggy. I needed to calm down.
I'm just saying.
You're a little too high strong today because your sorors are here.
Why not? What are you talking about?
And ladies and gentlemen, not just any sorors.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all are very familiar with Miss Patrice Moreau. She is like a staple of the show now.
She is.
I don't even know if you can call her a guest. I make her go get her own cup now. I don't even. She'd be like, "Can I get something to drink?" Like, yeah, go get it.
Oh, okay.
That's how you treat folks. Y'all know that's how we treat folk when they done been here.
Like, you ain't guess no more. You better go on in that kitchen.
Right.
Yeah,
I get it the first time. I ain't gonna just keep getting your gift. You know what I'm saying? But the other soror, Miss A. Yvonne Smith, I'll get her a drink this time. Because it's her first time officially on screen. So we'll get her a drink. But this is the last time, though. How you doing, Miss Yvonne? You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing good. How you doing, Frat?
We're doing well. We're doing well. Glad to have you here tonight. It's going to be a fun show. It's going to be a very, very fun show. Now, full disclosure, I have to step away for a few minutes. And so I'm going to let you ladies have at it here in just a second. And then I'm gonna come back and let y'all I'll be here for the last part is what I'm saying, because I got some things I want to say to you anyway.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna let Mama Noise do what she do. But
it's also funny that you saying it like like a parent that says, now look, I'm gonna step over here and talk to Miss Martin for just a few minutes.
I am. That's
now
exactly
while I'm talking to her, I expect
that's
y'all
exactly what you
behave
read that
yourself
correctly.
while I'm gone. Don't make me look like across this street.
You read that correctly. If I come back and my house is in disarray, me and you gonna have some problems.
Look, I just got
you already have a problem. You got your phone up.
I appreciate the invite to the house. I'm very respectful of people's houses, so I appreciate this. Thank you.
All right. Well, Kyrie is here now, so I feel a little bit better.
Kyrie has
he'll be able to help break what's going on.
Who?
How you doing?
We call him Kyrie, but or Nighttime Noise or
Mr. Uncorked Wine. I mean,
he got a lot of monikers.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, he does.
All right, y'all behave yourself while I'll be back.
Behave myself. What happened?
So listen, the reason why he said we need to behave ourselves, I don't know why he would say that, because I mean, we are more than capable of being able to handle it. We holds it down. So I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
Don't get it confused.
I don't know what is he still upset about Jesse? Is he still upset about that?
Do I need to start drinking early?
He's talking about y'all behave yourself. I'm like, is he still caught up in the Jesse Williams? Because I do have the pictures.
Lord, today. Now you know what? Now see, on Uncorked Wine on Saturdays, when the guys be trying to hem me up with all of their shows, all them little clips and little videos and stuff, that would be a nice little, refresher.
No.
I got you, Sora. Don't worry. I'll send them to you. You have more than enough footage.
Y'all, so I was thinking, how like there's all these memes and everything like that. I was just waiting for somebody to come along and like people that change these songs around and like what is it, Try Jesus, Not Me, and that Rona song. I thought somebody was gonna say, I wish that I was Jesse's girl.
I think Lloyd sung it. I think Lloyd sung a clip of Jesse's girl. He said, this is not, I think he was saying this is not Jesse's girl when we started talking about it. And I was like, you know what?
Listen,
but the ladies are saying they wish they were.
Listen, I said it the other day, and I'll stick by it. I understand why the ex-wife was salty. I'd been salty too after seeing that. I'd be like, that ain't right.
What? Okay, I'm not going. I could really fan the flame on it, but I won't do it.
I can see why she went Cocoa for Cuckoo Puffs. I'd be salty too if I lost my husband looking like that. Like
She'd be like, "Come back."
I mean, like he used to be a teacher in the education system, so he had all this knowledge too, and he had all that working with him. And then he got all big with his ego and Hollywood, and things happen. But shoot, I'd be salty too. I was like, this just isn't right. Oh, I'm sorry, we not including Mr. Nighttime Noise. Hi.
Oh, I am perfectly fine. You guys have enjoyed your time. Enjoy it, because
No,
she the one going for child support, so evidently something's wrong.
Wait, I'm sorry. Say that again. What?
I mean, she's asking for more child support, so something had to be wrong.
Well, see, he tried to act like he was working at Trader Joe's and needed to have his child support brought down to
wait.
you know.
No, don't knock Trader Joe's now. Trader Joe's be on point, especially that chicken salad. That be on point for real.
Now listen, I ain't gonna front like I don't shop there. I shop there. I'm just saying, like you remember a while back when they had old boy from the Cosby Show,
Jeffrey something.
Yeah, that was one of the Cosby daughter's husband.
Elvin.
Elvin.
Yeah, when they put Elvin on blast for working there.
He was a grocery store clerk.
Right. So he was trying to say, you know, I don't make it Grey's Anatomy money no more, so I'm gonna need you to come down on that child support for real though.
But look at Jesse and look at Elvin. That's different. Can't do that.
Yeah, he said, okay. Elvin can't stand up there with no clothes.
Elvin ain't that tall. Before you pull me on here, I'm a little different.
Well, you know, it's kind of refreshing.
What he done grabbed?
If Cuz was on here, him and Lloyd and Al and Ron would be saying something about something that we would be like, wow, so much testosterone. I just don't know what is happening. So
talking about what you're talking about.
I'm just saying there was some. Listen, you're comparing somebody who is a ladder and then you versus somebody who's a tripod. That's all I'm saying.
I love this so raw. Already.
Listen.
I love this.
Just quick question.
You know,
but the tripod got divorced. So what was wrong?
I'm sorry, what?
The tripod got divorced.
The tripod got divorced.
Everybody wanted the tripod.
I was going to say,
nobody wanted to be on a step ladder.
But why does tripod get divorced? Something had to be wrong?
I'm not in the household to say what happened because I'm not, but I just know from my outside viewpoint, if I'm looking at Elvin, who working at Shoppers grocery store,
so you're gonna take tripod with all the flaws.
Jesse Williams, who's doing a tripod.
See, okay. I'm going to speculate. I'm not in the house. I'm not in the house.
Go.
Let me just speculate and say that now, from what I understood from the information about him, since we're talking about him, is that now he had the ride or die chick with him in the beginning, which is the baby mama and all this stuff. She was riding with him when he was on the couch.
She was. Let's be clear. She was the wife. She was no baby mama. She was with him when he was an educator teaching bad A kids.
Mm-hmm.
Can I cuss? I want to make sure I'm respectful to your household. Can I cuss? Because if not, just let me know and I'll use little fill in the blank words. So,
well, this is Cuz is here, so clearly there's not a buffer.
Okay, so if
speaking
I just go off here and there, I just want to be respectful, because if you gotta kick me out of the house afterwards, I'll just have my drink and I'll be out. So I just want to make
we
sure.
do have a 10 motherfucker limit, so.
Oh well, hell. Okay, well listen. Anyway, he was working with these badass kids in high school because his parents were all educated, very very studious and everything. So she was with him when he was a teacher.
Right. I'm in agreement with you, Sora. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what I mean when I say he was like, being a teacher means he wasn't a celebrity at that time. So she was riding with him when nobody knew who he was.
Yep.
Once he started smelling himself, because somebody said he's like I don't know if y'all remember, we talked about on the show last week about the dude who was light skinned with gray eyes that was in prison, and some chick went and found a way to get him out.
Yes. And you want to know something about that brother right there? He can't act for shit. I saw him in 2 films, and I was just like, bro, you are really just looking at the camera while you doing your line. I'm like, I'm gonna need you to close your eyes and look behind your eyelids and do your line. That might be better. But he can't act for nothing. But yeah, I agree with you. The ego got into the way.
Yeah.
He stands for edging God out. So now now he on this other plateau, and now he's on stage talking about take me out.
So he so then when oh boy, he's married, he got kids now, and somebody like, married with kids, you look too good to be married with kids. He probably rolled up on several sugar mamas out there that was like,
he looked good. She stayed
right.
And they were not evolving to the same level. It's like, if I'm here, come here with me, or at least move up. But it's like, if you remember that BET award recipient he got, and they showed him, and you saw he was elevating since all those years of Grey's Anatomy, and then when they took the camera on her, people were like, that's his wife? So she was still her. She was still her, but she needed to be a her and not old her. She needed to be a new her.
So let's dig into that. So as you go,
some people thought so.
As you grow. So I mean, the same thing happened to what's his name, Omar Hardwick from what is it?
Power.
From Power. He was from Power, and when folks seen him, they was like, okay. But when they seen his wife, they was like, oh, you.
Now wait a minute. You crossing a whole different ethnicity line altogether. But again, she was with him from the beginning.
But that's the point. That's the point. You with me when I'm down in the mud, and so now that the light's on me, even though the world don't understand us, why you can't understand us and continue to ride?
Because you know as well as I do, Soror, that the standards for us as Black women are a lot different than every other ethnicity out there. Let's keep it 100 in this country. It's different. I've seen a lot of fine brothers who be messing with those.
They pick basic people, and the standards for us are higher.
No, they pick Honey Boo Boo. That's what they pick. They pick Honey Boo Boo. They pick Honey Boo Boo type. Okay, shoot. Her mother was on TV talking about, y'all need to leave my daughter alone because she's 16 years old dating this 20-year-old, and she's like, she's already experiencing a lot of issues because it's an interracial relationship. I already heard when she said that. I said, oh, she got herself a brother. Okay. I'll see what's
so kind of back to your buddy, the Tripod. I'm just gonna call him Tripod as his name now. and you said that his ride or die never evolved, kind of like he evolved. As his career went up, we said she kind of stayed. She stayed her. You said she needed to be her. Does she have to evolve? If she's comfortable where she's at, does she have to evolve?
If this is not Hollywood, she would have been fine. But in Hollywood's eyes, that's not acceptable. You see it a lot of times when people who they're going out, they're doing these press media conferences and all this stuff, promoting their shows and songs and videos. And it's like, you got to have somebody who's on that, who can relate to you in the industry and what you're about to encounter. Now she was the housewife. She took care of the kids. She took care of everything on the home front, like she's been doing. But we can't sit there and say that she signed up for it, you know, when they first got together. Because again, he was an educator. He was a teacher. She's like, I'm with you through thick and thin. You an educator. This is what is drawn to me to you. Now if somebody's talking about, I want to make you a movie star, you'd be like, okay, what does this mean? A commercial? You're going to do a Cheerios commercial or something? And then you end up being a sex symbol or People's Magazine of, you know.
Well, let's get some input on that. Patrice is out there in the wood of Hollywood, in the area of California. She's in California, love. So, Patrice, you're out there in this type of environment amongst them with all your many film ventures and web series and all the stuff that you're doing out there that's in this area. Do you see what we're talking about?
I guess I see it. I don't necessarily agree that it should be that way. I think this world is full of so much vanity. So to me, I don't think that the person should have to do that. But it is disheartening when you see someone when they start to rise and then they leave their significant other behind. Like even, we'll just use, for example, on what was the Angela Bassett.
Okay.
When old boy left her, when she helped him build the whole company. And then,
you mean from Waiting to Exhale?
I thought you meant Angela Bassett's husband in real life. I was like,
no. What? Courtney, no, they're still together. I'm sorry. In the movie.
I was about to take this hat off. Like, wait a minute. Not even a slow and I was pissed. I was like, what?
No,
right.
just using the example in the movie, how, she was his ride or die. She was there when he had nothing. And then when he came up, he let her go for some simple basic girl, like his receptionist or secretary. And the unfortunate thing is that you see it all the time. I don't agree with it, but and a lot of times that's the reality. That's how it is. I think that is vain, and I don't know. I just feel like there's no substance with something like that. But then
go ahead.
But then again, we never know what's happening in behind the scenes. We don't know how that person is. We don't know if the person has been supportive, and maybe maybe they're not supportive, and maybe that's why they're they've left the situation. We don't know that. All we know is what we see. So yeah,
because again, she might have signed up for the teacher. She might have signed up for him to be the professor, to be a principal. She signed up for that. She might not have signed up for the Hollywood because of what you just said. What is all going to be coming into that? She may be an introvert. She may not like being around people who are fake or high sedity. She'll be like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. So we really don't know. But to your point though, Sora, in terms of Angela Bassett's character with the husband messing with the secretary, to me and to a lot of us, that right there was just his way of bringing somebody around to the meetings, to the tables that would get him through the door. Let's keep it 100.
Okay, so let's piggyback right there. Tonight's topic, I'm gonna segue into what we're talking about, is that have the black men given up on the black women? Have the black women given up on the black men? And so it, like you say, Sora, Yvonne, that he was using her as an example, using this person to get into the room. I'm gonna say like Clarence Thomas. Clarence Thomas, did he use his wife to get him into the room to become the Supreme Court justice?
Are
You
you
know,
a member? Are you a member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated?
I'm saying yes, but I'm saying it looks like people that are getting in the room in places that are so highly, high offices. It looks like they're, they can't get in the room with a black wife and a black husband. It looks like the only way they can get in the room is by some other ethnicity.
I don't think that that's true. I think that's what we tell ourselves.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
think about Denzel and Paulette. They've been together for a minute.
Right.
He keeps his personal life separate.
Mm-hmm.
And Paulette is beautiful, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
She's a beautiful black queen. So
yes,
I don't think that I think that that's what we tell ourselves. And I say that because I was talking to one of my black friends, a guy, a male, and he was saying that, who happens to be married to a queen, a black queen.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that a lot of times they, some black men will look at it like, okay, this is my way to come up. But
okay,
that's not what it is. Like, they look at it and like, okay, well, I get with this one, I can have good credit, I can do that, I can do this, I can do that. I think it's all a matter of perspective, to be honest. It's a matter of perspective. Me personally, I don't have a problem with like interracial dating, or even marriage. It's the self-hate. And I say that because, my husband's not black, he's not white, but he's not black. But my preference is, and I've said this before, my preference has always been a black man.
Okay.
I just happen to have fallen for someone who wasn't.
Okay.
And this is actually the first person I ever dated that was outside of my race, and I had an issue with it. I had an issue for a long time because I thought, I'm betraying my race. That's what I thought, and I was like, I actually wouldn't give him the time of day. Like, he had to keep
pursuing.
Because I was like, you too light. And I mean, that's probably mean for me to say, but
but that's your truth, though. But that's your truth, though. So let me ask you this, Patrice: Are you born and raised in California, or did you? Okay, so where are you originally from?
I'm from Kentucky. My dad's from Louisiana.
Okay,
so
okay.
I'm a Kentuckiana.
That's my family from Kentucky too. That's all good. My father's from Lexington and my mom was from Louisville. So, but to back up what you're saying, I do agree with you 100%. I think a lot of factors come into play in terms of when it comes to the relationship between black men and black women. Queen had mentioned about Clarence Thomas marrying his wife to come up. We also have to keep in consideration of the generation that he is a part of. In that time and in that era, that plays a very big part in the decision making. When Denzel married his wife Pauletta in the early or mid 80s, there was not as much hostility. Still was present, but it wasn't as much hostility as probably when Clarence Thomas married his wife in the 70s or whenever they got married. And even now, it's not. It's like, oh, okay, to Tuesday, So it's, I guess a lot of factors come into play about that. It's based off the generation, what we were taught from those of what not only what we taught but what we experienced. Because being a baby boomer is not the same as a Gen X, and it sure as hell ain't no millennial and Gen Zs. So we're all learning different things about the relationship. I mean, all we learned about Black history when I was growing up was that Martin Luther King was a civil rights leader, and we have a day off. That was much as and there was slavery in the country. That was as much as Black history we have now. An Eye on the Prize, PBS. Now we see the Loving Story. Now we see all of this other interracial movies coming out there and stuff like that. So it's more in a celebratory manner as opposed to be like, Well,
let me get Cuz and Ron to chime in on this, because just last night, Cuz mentioned the pursuit of the woman, and ironically, Patrice was saying that she wasn't even trying to feel the brother when he kept trying to come to her, trying to, pursue her. She was like, I feel like I'm betraying. my raise. I feel like, I don't know, because this is, I'm supposed to choose, or if I'm correct, Patrice, I'm supposed to choose a king, black king, and I'm supposed to whatever, but the love of her life pursued her. And that was one of the things that Cuz was talking about last night, is that you're not supposed to just be like, well, I gave it a shot, and so she said she turned her brother down, so I'm gonna keep it moving. No, he pursued her. So Ron and Cuz, you wanna chime in?
Well, first of all, I'm happy to be with such distinguished sounding and looking people.
Thanks, Cuz.
Any old time. I don't have anything to say about that, because I said it last night. I was true. Wrong was wrong. I was correct.
The hell was I wrong?
Yeah. Whatever. Whenever a man wants a woman, and we always take it to the extreme in order to discount it, saying that you're gonna get caught up on charges if you keep pursuing somebody that don't want you. But if you know how, and we all know how, to come at a woman and continue to give her that attention and show her that I really am interested in you. Not that I want something you got, but I want to give you what I got. Meaning, I want to give you love. I want to give you support. I want to lift you up. If you can keep coming at a woman like that, I believe, now I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I believe any man can get just about any woman he wants with the right kind of attention.
Okay. Well, now let me ask you, Cuz, so where Yvonne and Patrice were saying earlier, so when you got with your wife in the early years and then you started on the come up, why you say, I'm gonna just go ahead and stay with my wife, instead of saying, she all right and she was okay to go through the mud with a brother back when a brother, was Mississippi mud, no pun intended. But now, that you on the come up, why you ain't say, I need to find somebody who's already where I'm, is where I'm at now, not from where I came from.
Why I didn't say I needed to find someone where I am now?
Well, Yvonne and Patrice and I were talking about how Jesse Williams and, he was, when he was a teacher and everything, the wife he had and kids he had was fine. But once he got on the rise, as we call, my grandmama used to say, when you start smelling yourself and you start, people start checking for you. And now all of a sudden the wife you had is not good enough, because you rising up now, you going to the next level. And guys like him and like, we talked about Omari.
Tiger Woods. Did you put Tiger Woods out there?
All these different guys that from the beginning, they like, I want this wife that looks what I want. But then all of a sudden, what they want change? So it goes back to what the subject of tonight is have black women giving up on black men, have black men giving up on black women, because brothers like, okay, you all right to start with. I know you ride or die. I know you'll go with me through the mud. But now once I rise, holler at your boy. Because,
Let me say this about that. You can also add O.J. Simpson to that too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Clarence Thomas was first married to a black woman before he married that white woman.
Say what? Say huh?
Yeah.
You didn't know that?
Okay.
No.
He was married to her for about 12, 13 years.
What? Oh, come on. What the follow law? I had no idea. Now I'm going to have to look it up.
So I believe my purpose in my marriage has everything to do with what I provide and do for my wife, not what my wife provides and does for me. I'm a man.
Okay.
So I hesitate to say this around certain men, because in my humble opinion, men have become bitches.
Thank you.
They feel like they need. I don't get. Nigga. Oh, I'm sorry.
You just showed up. You already dropped one bitch and a nigga. You just showed up.
It's irritating to me, Ron, how men feel so neglected. I'm not getting what I'm supposed to get, which is the only reason why you would leave that black woman and go to that white woman, because she has promised you that she's going to do stuff for you that black woman ain't doing for you. And it's not about you. I don't believe, as a man, that it's about me. It's about my wife and my family.
Can you say that again for those people in the back row in exit in area F double G row? Because I don't think they heard that. Can you say that one more time for that double F row next to the left side of the bathroom, GG? And go.
Honestly, I understand what you said again, and I don't mind, but honestly, a lot of men aren't there. They can't receive that. They honestly can't receive it.
Thank you.
So what is a woman's purpose for a man then?
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that.
Well,
because your statement, you kind of sound like, if I go with your statement and how you do it, it's almost you really archaic. Like Neanderthal, I'm just gonna walk over, hit on the head with a damn club and drag her ass because she's gonna be mine. The kind of way you said the statement, but that's a whole different story. So, if the point of a marriage is to have a partnership and build together, that means the wife has to do something for the man.
You are correct.
Then what's the purpose?
I do believe that women are to support their men and to lift their men up also. That is a two-way street kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But my manhood does not hinge upon what that woman does.
It doesn't.
What you say?
It doesn't hinge upon what that woman does. It never hinges upon what she does. The question is, when a man, not a bitch, but a man.
So if I may ask a quick
What you fall back in on?
if I may ask a question, raising my hand like I'm a good girl, if I may ask the question, if your manhood, if a manhood itself does not necessarily, it's not necessarily, relying on necessarily on that woman per se, why do most men feel like their manhood equates to the number of women they sleep with?
Because that's not manhood, that's boyhood. Boyhood.
Yeah, that's something different.
It's totally different. Boyhood equates to the amount of women they sleep with, not manhood.
Mm-hmm.
Two totally different things.
Mm-hmm.
Boys play game. Men go to work.
Right.
All right.
I know some traffic members on the couch too, playing that Xbox till 3 a.m. Let's keep it 100.
Well, hold on, Yvonne. Before you toss that Xbox aside, he can still be making some money with that Xbox. So we don't live in that world now where that's just game.
Okay.
That might be a business situation. So.
Does the Game Boy count? Can we say Game Boy?
Well, Game Boy.
Okay, Game Boy.
I think we clearly dated ourselves with the Game Boy.
Right, you sounded real old on that one. That was the oldest thing you said so far.
But I think it had something to do with.
But that's really the biggest difference. You're comparing boyhood to manhood.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
I'm only bringing that up because I've heard grown men actually have these conversations with other grown men. Well, grown men, I guess, if we're looking at the chronological manner, but I've literally heard men sit there and say, "Oh man, back in my days, I was getting it in there like 2-3 times a week." I'd be like, "Okay, and when was this? Like 5 years ago?" I'm like, "Nigga, you 35. What the hell?" So
well, but again, that's not men talking. That's boys talking. You can't listen to a child's conversation and put that into an adult circumstance. That's children talking. You let children believe they're gonna be Superman and Batman. So
now, truthfully, children have no filter. The children let the truth go out, just like a drunk man tells no lies.
And that's where I'm gonna stop you. You keep saying children let the truth go. That's not the truth. That's just kids talking about kid things. I don't listen. The Bible says when you're a man, you put away childish things.
That part.
Hey,
Right.
no.
So you know.
But not everybody reads the scriptures, brother.
Well,
I'm
but
following you. I understand that, but not everybody subscribes to that scripture. Not everybody subscribes to that.
it doesn't change the truth of it, though. It doesn't change the truth of it just because you don't read it. The truth is still the truth. Now, let me get back to Cuz real quick because I think he feel like he's off the hook.
Hold on, before you get to his ass, because I got a couple things for his ass too.
Oh, well, go ahead. You listen. Y'all part of the church. Y'all might need to work some stuff out. So y'all go ahead.
But to help out your boyhood and manhood conversation, most men would tell you I did all my stupid shit when I was under the age of 20.
14.
Most men would tell you I did all my dumb shit, all that chasing of women when I was 16, 17, when I was a kid. I did childish shit when I was a kid. If a grown man at 35 is telling you that I'm doing childish shit at 30.
At 14, what the hell? Okay.
If he's telling you he's doing childish shit at 30, he's still a child. He's just a child in a grown man's body.
I agree with that.
Without question.
Not necessarily child molestation. Devon, what's wrong with you? He might have been a 14-year-old with a 14-year-old.
They're talking about 14-year-olds, and if he's a 14-year-old and she's 25 years old,
that's different. That's.
I mean, look, you gotta be careful with these people.
Okay, I thought you were saying like a 14-year-old with a 14-year-old. That's just people working.
I'm talking about. I've heard a lot of young men. I've heard a lot of men say when they were 12, they lost their virginity. 11 with a girl 18, 19 years old. I'm just like, what the hell is that about?
Well, now listen. That is.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
You playing, right?
What?
You playing, right?
No,
I'm sorry. Let me. I may have to take this. Wait, what? What?
Yeah, you're on with that one, my brother.
What?
That's just as wrong as if it was the other way around.
So you're telling me that if your 11-year-old daughter is messing with a 19-year-old boy, y'all cool with that?
Hold on. Now, the only reason why I'm by myself is because them other two yahoos are scared to speak up.
No, we ain't scared.
I will speak up for myself.
Oh, my goodness.
No, I agree with Anthony. That's child abuse. And quite honestly, male or female, because I have a boy and I have a girl. And if that happens to either one, I'm straight boxing. I don't even like to fight. But I'm about to box somebody.
No, I don't have to. People in Kentucky, they end up missing. The hell with that.
Oh my God!
That's what they're gonna say because we don't fight for real.
No,
I'm gonna lay hands. I'm just somebody just get my bail money.
I'm not gonna lose my 401k over something.
Ladies.
I will have them end up missing.
Well, ladies, calm down for just a second. Cuz, go ahead, because they ain't gonna let you in these days.
I mean, let them see.
This is all your fault.
From a parental standpoint, I understand exactly what they're saying. I have a kid. I understand.
Sure.
But when I was 8 years old and that 16-year-old came in my bedroom, I was grateful.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Come out. Don't fall for it.
Don't take the bait.
You ever went fishing? You see that little shiny lure that comes across? Don't fall for it.
Well, now wait a minute, hold on, because now I am gonna stand with Cuz on this. Let's not act like there are not sometimes age gaps in high school, and just because a person crosses the threshold in high school to 18 and they date down, that we don't normally label that pedophilia.
But you said 8.
No, he said 18 and 16.
No, I didn't hear that part.
I didn't hear a teen.
Did you say 8 and 16 or 8?
He said 8.
Hold on, let him speak for himself. Can the man speak for himself? Go ahead.
You act like you don't know my story. I was 8.
Oh, you were 8. Oh yeah, you were raped, bro.
No, I wasn't raped.
You mean like 6 + 2?
Yes.
Y'all can try to figure it out all y'all want to.
Listen, that's rape, bro. Like you might not want to admit it, but it's rape.
I just want to make sure I understand correctly that 4 + 4 = 8, and you're referring to the age 8.
Yeah, no, he was raped. Yeah, that's rape, bro.
Look,
can
it
say
may
all
not have
you
felt.
want.
Listen, you may not have felt rape at that time, but that was rape.
Yeah, I can't defend that one.
I wonder if the statutory limitations is still available. You need to go after that bitch. Fuck that.
Let me tell you something.
Again, y'all falling for the bait. Watch the bait.
Hold on. Let's be very clear. My story is my story, and I'm not ashamed of it or apologetic about it at all. Now, if you got a problem with it, that's up to you. But I don't have a problem with my story.
So can I say something?
Yes, please.
Absolutely.
I definitely don't think that you should be ashamed. You were the victim. And even though as a boy, you probably thought, oh man, this is awesome. I agree with what Anthony said. It's wrong. It is wrong.
I never said it was wrong. If loving you is wrong, hell, I don't want to be right. I never said it was wrong. I said I wanted it. That's what I said.
That is what you said.
Okay, you're that guy.
Can I say something? Can we go there?
Absolutely.
Can we go there then?
You can go wherever you want.
Hey, knock yourself out.
Soror, go ahead, take it.
Okay. So not many people know this, and this is a little difficult to say, but when I was about 12 years old, I spent the night at my neighbor's house, my friend's house, and her mother's boyfriend crawled into the room. He was an adult. That's wrong.
Yeah.
I fought him off. I did something that a lot of victims don't do, and he hobbled on out. But it's wrong.
Yeah.
But I when I say when we are coming, we're trying to come to your defense. And I don't think in any way that you should ever feel ashamed. So if we've said it that way, I apologize. That's not what I'm saying. But I felt shame for a lot of years, and I didn't do anything wrong. So it's wrong. To me, it's wrong. And regardless of whether, a boy thinks that that's okay for, a woman or a teenager, someone who's older, to come at them like that because it's a male versus a female, it's still wrong. And that's all I'm saying. So I'm not trying to persuade you to change your mind. I'm just saying that it's wrong. And it makes me want to defend you as a person.
Yeah. We in mama mode.
Right, and
Exactly.
I'll say this too, because all jokes aside, again, it's not to be. I'm not attacking you. I was just taken back at the fact that you were 8, and just like Patrice said, this is the defending mode, because for me, a child. And just like our elders, I'm very protective of children, especially in situations that is of adult nature, So even though at the time for you might have wanted it or whatever, you were still a child. And again, it's your experience. If you didn't see anything wrong with it, hey, more power to you, brother. But for me, hearing that breaks my heart, because the story that she's just stated is a story that's not uncommon with us in the Black community that we don't ever talk about. She's not the only one on this panel here that's gone through something like that. Right.
Wait a minute.
For me, I'm going to be passionate about that, because too many times we've had situations where little Black boys and Black girls are being molested and raped, and nobody's coming up to defense. And here it is 40, 50 years later, and this thing is triggering people, me included, to where I'm like, hold the hell up. Right. Where the hell the parents? Who protected this boy? I mean, it. So I'm a guest.
No, you guys are doing. Listen, this is great.
I just want to say, for me and you, I apologize if I seem harsh, but I don't like that.
Yeah.
Well,
no. First of all,
I think you.
Yeah, hold on one second, real quick. I just want to say something to the ladies real quick, and I know you want to as well, because we're probably thinking the same thing. But first of all, thank you for your transparency. And this is why we do this show, for open forums and dialogues like this, that because so much of this is in the shadows and we never talk about it and never share and protect and help and get better understanding of all of the perspectives. So I don't think I think the reaction that the two of you have had is a natural, fair reaction. But I also think that there's that Cuz has another side, and I also got some questions. So Mama Noise, and then we want Cuz to respond.
I just was simply gonna say that was notice how all of these women were willing to fight for Jay. I mean, the topic is about have men what was it? Have men given up fighting for the black woman and
vice versa.
You know, vice versa. So I mean, Yvonne is ready to get in the car.
They're ready to look for that girl right now.
The car. Patrice is like, I'm the advocate, and you know, she's the scrapper, and I'm the advocate. So one of us is getting ready to go toe to toe for Cuz.
Yeah.
Now that was just with that one, just knowing a few facts about that one situation. So I was just saying how powerful of a segue.
Yeah. Cuz I'd like you to respond to that real quick.
Extra large? Is that an extra large, Soror? Oh, okay. Okay.
Go ahead, Ron. And then Cuz.
Ladies, hey, we definitely thank you for your transparency. So now the uncorked Rons that come out. If y'all want to cuss that nigga out over, cuss that nigga out all y'all want. We don't give a damn. Call him all the MF you want to call him, bitches, niggas, whatever you want to call him that. So we're perfectly fine.
The hell?
That's my favorite clip. That's one of my favorite clips.
I love it.
Go ahead, Cuz. Go ahead.
It's just, again, just like Queen said, I don't even know you. I've had the pleasure of listening to you all a few times, and I want to defend you because of the fact is you were a child.
Wow.
Oh.
Yep.
You were a child.
And I was a happy child too.
And you could listen. You can be happy. You can be hopscotch, and you could have been skateboarding all you want to. But for us as mother figures, when we hear that about our young black boys,
you can't tell my story like I can.
Oh,
I don't think that's what she's. But I don't think that's what she's trying to do, Cuz.
But when you're talking, you're not listening to my heart. Now, I've heard you all's heart, and I understand what you're saying. I'm married to an abuse survivor. I have a daughter that I understand what you're saying, but that was not my situation. My situation was just what I wanted. Now, if you don't agree with that, if you don't accept it, that's up to you. Obviously. But believe me, I was not abused.
Can I ask you a question? I don't think I've ever asked you this question. Hold on one second. I want to ask you this question. I don't think I've ever asked you this question about this particular, because you've talked about it before, but I've never asked you this question. How did you decide at 8 that is what you wanted?
You know, I don't know. It was something about budding this and budding that. I was
in you or seeing other people,
other women, other girls, other girls.
Gotcha.
They were girls. They were not women. I was interested.
So
all my life.
So my question to that, I got several questions and we've never explored it the way we're exploring it today, because this is interesting, because the response of the ladies is very interesting, like Kieta said. Did you ever tell your parents what happened? Like at any point in your life, did you ever say,
no.
Mama, you know I broke that thing off at 8?
No.
Okay. All right. So
my mother
did you tell an uncle or cousin?
My mother thought I was a virgin even up until I got married.
Why not?
My wife, with her evil ass, told my mama, said, "You know he wasn't no virgin, don't you?"
You know that's dirty dog. That's dirty dog food.
That dirty. Because did you ever tell an uncle or a cousin?
Excuse me, Ron. I can't hear
Did
you.
you ever tell an uncle or a cousin that you
No,
did
tell
it?
them what? What are you guys talking about?
Well, most of the time, kids talk about the
Share
game
that
that they
information.
play. They share. So the fact that you didn't share it, that's very interesting. The whole thing.
Because males, at a young age, you're going to tell an uncle or cousin
Or best friend.
because that's what you
Somebody.
typically hear from is
No,
your
no.
uncles and cousins about conquest.
I've been telling the story my entire life.
Yeah, but that's after the fact. I'm talking about in the moment. Like you didn't show up at the lunchroom table the next week and say, "God, guess what kind of weekend I had?"
Yes, I had some cutty last night.
I ain't gonna hold you, but a
I had
nigga,
a big
nigga
ass
grew
milk
up.
and had a whole lot of milk with it too.
Right, right.
I was never that kind of kid that would kiss and tell.
Okay.
I was sneaky
Wow.
and wanted it to stay that way.
It's really, to be honest with you, because there is I don't want to call it bizarre because, like you said, it's your story and you own your interpretation of that story. But it really is a unique story.
My story.
Right, as I just said, it's just a unique story because, and by the way, let me just say this. Maybe some of us did not have the 8-year-old experience, but so many of us got experienced into this thing far earlier than we should have.
But you acted like you didn't.
No.
I just started at 8.
No. I think the 8 ain't the problem. The 8 is not what's throwing everybody off. It's the fact.
Most boys start around 10, 12, 14.
Yeah, but the 8 is not what's throwing us off. I think what's throwing everybody off is the 16. Because you said it was 8 and 16, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's what's throwing everybody off. But I want to throw this out just real quick, and y'all can take it for whatever, however you choose to interpret it.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that it was a 16-year-old, you actually have to also question the cognitive reasoning of that 16-year-old to go and say, man, this 8-year-old, my God, this is sexy right here. I mean, so there's something completely, detached in the whole situation. Yes, ma'am.
Crazy.
Then the other part, let's just address the elephant in the room. An 8-year-old.
I thought we were discussing men fighting for women and women fighting for men.
We are.
We
We kind of got off track for a little bit. But I gotta ask this before I'm embarrassed.
This is fighting. This is what we're fighting about.
Can I ask this before I'm embarrassed not to ask?
Go, Patrice.
Go ahead, Patrice, ask your question.
Okay.
And then we're going to move on from cuz.
Because you're wasting your time.
So, 16, this is like a sophomore or a junior in high school.
More or less, yes.
Not back in Mississippi, Jackson.
In Mississippi, that might be like an 8th grader.
Yeah.
Okay. So, an 8-year-old typically hasn't gone through puberty. What does an 8-year-old even have? Like, I'm just, it goes back.
But I don't think that's how it happens. I think you're looking at it from you're looking at it from a place of pure, unadulterated logic. I don't think that's how you can look at this situation.
We can't.
What I'm trying to say is I agree with you.
Yeah.
There's something going on in their, like in that teen's head to even think.
Exactly.
They drank that muddy water. Shit.
But what was she taught and shown?
Right. What was her upbringing? What was she?
Something probably happened to her. It probably something happened to her.
It was learned behavior for her to do that. For her to for her to want to be effing an 8-year-old little boy, that was learned behavior. So whatever's in that water, I don't want it.
But that's Mississippi. That's But I'm kidding because I want to mess with color. But I guess the thing that what I like about what's happening here, what I do like about what's happening here, is that it kind of, like Kenyatta said, echoes the reality of how Black women are. Because here's the other side of this. This is just being as honest as we can possibly be. 48-year-old me is like, hey, bro, you got raped. 48-year-old me. 9-year-old me would have been like, my nigga.
16-year-old you would have been
16-year-old me would have been like, damn, dog, that's crazy. I would have probably questioned it at 16.
Be like, what's her number? Fuck that.
Right. 16-year-old me would have been like, that's crazy.
It's
No.
Another 16-year-old.
No. 16-year-old me wouldn't have been doing that either because that's nasty. She nasty. But that's 16-year-old me. 8-year-old me though would have been like, nigga, let's go play some kickball. This is amazing. And do you understand what I'm saying? And so we don't cognitively see naturally men defense. Now let's fast forward to this. Here it says we talking, right? We having a conversation. Okay, let's have a conversation. I lost my virginity at 16, and she was 24. So you can say to that, hey, she took advantage or whatever. But I made a very cognitive decision, right? So it's we don't, as men, we don't see that the same way. We see that as, man, this is a badge of honor. So I understand why 8-year-old Jay was like, right. I understand. Now, again, grown man.
Y'all be getting your badges at. Y'all niggas need to go to the Boy Scouts or something, get a merit badge for a tiger.
But Yvonne, and Patrice,
get that badge and the Boy Scout badge.
But hold on, Yvonne and Patrice. Here's where you're missing the bigger point. If we're taught at 8 and 16 that women are objects of sexual desire, it takes some of us never grow out of that. And then it makes it almost impossible for us to grow into a mindset of defending the Black woman. So unless that mindset is interrupted, which mine was, which Jay's was, by things that happen in our lives where we start to get a different perspective on what a Black woman is, we will carry that boyish mindset for as long as we can get away with it. And I think our stories are not that uncommon.
And to help Lloyd out, so Cuz was 8. Lloyd, you said you was what?
16.
16?
Yeah.
I was 12 and she was 18.
So it is a thing. It's a thing, is what we're saying. I know, and listen, I know y'all saying y'all some dysfunctional ass niggas, but that's
hey, it's y'all's truth. So y'all ride with it. You guys went through that to be where you are now, where you guys are making sound decisions. You learn from those experiences, and that's that.
But it's deeper than, but it's even deeper than that though. But it's even deeper than that. Yeah. It is not just our truth. It is a reality amongst the Black men. Absolutely. You would be surprised at how many young Black men have this story, so that when you hear it, there was somebody in the chat that said the same thing. They said, I think it was Stefan. He said I was 17, she was 26. It happens quite a bit. And so in the Black community, we've perpetually normalized a mindset of I don't want to say disrespect, because it's not.
I know where you're going.
You accepted cousin's favorite word in that mindset. You accepted cousin's favorite word, broken.
Yeah, there you go.
It was we were broke, but we never knew we were broke because we were taught by your cousins, your uncles, who are 27, 30 years old. Hey, go get that. It was. I'm teaching you to go get what you need to get, regardless of the consequences. So at 12, you thought, shit, if I got an 18-year-old, I'm on top of the world, cuz.
Right.
Ain't nobody telling me nothing.
If all of us, go ahead.
So you said that like the word is broke.
Or
right?
broken.
Broken. So do you believe? Say that again.
That's that nigga's word over.
It's an inside joke between
going the wrong way.
So again, I'm new to the house. So do you all believe in the saying broken homes breed broken homes?
No question about. Listen, I was just going to say, if everybody in the community is broken, then it's no longer brokenness. It's community.
It's community. It's a way.
It's our community. So if we've normalized beating a woman to keep her in order, which I've heard that from uncles and stuff like that, then that's not brokenness. That's, you don't discover that it's brokenness until that mindset is interrupted by something else.
Until you
and
leave
then somebody shows you a different pattern, you go, wait a minute. So that so something was wrong with me.
Right. So until you leave that community, that's all you know. Because
that's all you know.
Because it's written. The first 7-9 years, statistically showing, the first 7 years of a person's existence is an indication of how they're going to be as an adult until you leave that environment, that community, and see what else is out there. So, and I think to your point, as Black men, there is no safe space to have those type of conversations. It's not even a safe space for us as Black women to have those conversations because it's stuff we never talked about. Everybody on this panel here has somebody in the family where you were like, well, we don't talk about that. Or that happened to so-and-so many years ago. You don't talk about that. I remember very vividly watching a TV show called Unsung with Billy Preston. Billy Preston, the singer. And he said, I didn't even know that Billy Preston at the time, he was gay. He was a homosexual. But what was really interesting was the fact that when he was a child, around 7-8 years old, he got raped.
Yeah.
And when he went to go and tell his mother about what happened, she said, don't ever bring it up. It's dismissed. It never happened. That broke something in him to where he was like, okay, I see what just happened. And from there, he made his choices to live his life how he lived. But when there is not a safe space for you, for me, and us to talk about certain things like this in terms of the relationship, we are watching all of this from young children. That's why our relationships between us as Black men and Black women is so strained, because of the fact that of what we're witnessing at a young age. So, but again, this is just what I've seen in my church.
No, I think you're spot on. I think you're spot on. Listen, I think this is conversations like this are at the core of where the healing can begin, but they're hard to have because they're very necessary, but it requires people like Cuz who have reconciled it. Like, he understands. Because see, the thing that we're not conversating, and I don't know if where his thought process is. He's right there. We can ask him. Right. But I think I would assume, you tell me if I'm wrong, Cuz, that as a 50-plus-year-old man, you don't want to see that pattern, or you fought hard to see that pattern not repeated in your child's life because of what that pattern represented.
I believe men should protect girls. So I have fought hard to make sure that that's not my daughter's story, because my wife had lived with that. And I promised myself when we had our daughter that would never be my daughter's story. Now, I know that's a hard promise because you can't follow them 24/7.
Right.
But I was adamant about that won't be her story. So I am a protector of the females in my life. But for men, for boys that I know felt like I felt.
And see the difference between Cuz again, Cuz has a girl. I have a girl and I have boys. And again, my kids range in ages. My oldest son will be 28 on Friday. My daughter, she's 24. I have a 16-year-old and I have a 14-year-old. So my kids are spread out. I protect my daughter. But I also grew up in a single family home. It was just me and my mom. So my respect and my protection come from the fact that I saw what my family went through. And for me, it was, I'm not going to let my family go through what I came through. I know the dumb shit I did as a child. I did dirt upon dirt upon dirt, but I reconciled that. I reconciled my brokenness. And I think until men decide to reconcile their brokenness, they would never understand how to protect the Black woman. You at some point you have to reconcile, whether you reconcile through therapy, whether you reconcile on your own. You have to reconcile the fact that you are not going to let the same thing that happened to you and your family before you to happen to the family behind you. And a lot of men are not doing that. A lot of men are just continue doing the same stuff that they learned 30 years ago. They're just repeating the same patterns over and over and over and over.
Cuz, would you teach your son not to do that?
I'm not sure why you keep coming back to Cuz about this conversation, but I'm gonna help you out with it. I had no bad pattern that I wanted my daughter not to repeat. I didn't consider my situation brokenness. You may, but I didn't. I wanted to protect her from being abused. I have spoken with her and talked with her all the time about sex and what the body is feeling and what you're going to go through. And I pray that she chooses to wait. But I will be a fool to believe that she's going to wait as long as I would like for her to wait. She jokes all the time, how old is old enough, Dad? At 30? I said, let's try 40.
How old is your daughter?
My daughter is 17. So I understand that, how that works. But what I went through was desire the entire way. And I never considered it brokenness. Why am I the man that I am today? I'm the man that I am today because even back then, when I had relations with that girl at 8 years old, I didn't run back to the church because, yes, she was the pastor's daughter. I didn't run back to the church and tell everybody. I kept my mouth shut, in part because I was hoping I could get some money.
You are the definition of brokenness.
And I knew if I had told, I wouldn't get another shot.
That's a level 2, by the way.
What the hell?
As much as he talk about brokenness,
Wait. Did you say that this was the pastor's daughter?
You sound
She laid hands.
You sound surprised.
Oh, shit. I'll be right back.
That book didn't mean shit to him.
But you still answer my question. If you had a son, would your philosophy be the same?
I don't know. I'm not going to guess on that because I really don't know.
It's hard to teach your son to do the same things that we did coming up.
Yeah.
But the fact that you don't know may be a signal to the bigger problem that we're talking about, because we should know. Like, if we know that, you know what I'm saying? Like, if we know that what we have done or some of the actions that we have taken have been damaging to Black women, then we should be saying to our sons, hey, man, you can't do that.
The reason I didn't teach my sons that didn't happen until I had my daughter.
Right.
I had my son first.
Right.
I had Lil Ronell first. And I had him when I was young, 20s. I first had him. But when I had my daughters, when that mindset really changed, and when I had the daughter. And it was, look at the dumb shit that you did. Look at the trails that you left behind. Would you want your daughter to go through the same stuff that you left other people's daughters doing? And then I looked at my son and I said, you're gonna have a child one day. Your child may be a daughter. Do you want the same shit that you're gonna go through to happen to her if you had a daughter?
And that's why I think, Ron, you hit it smack on the head, because it's kind of a contradiction if we're saying I got to protect my daughters, but to the guys, we saying, good luck.
But you got to protect the boy first to protect the daughter.
You got to educate that boy and kind of change his mindset, or this pattern is probably going to repeat itself. Which, by the way, is probably the reason why this pattern is repeating itself, because we don't tell our boy. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have never had an uncle, a father, a grandfather, any man ever tell me that my sexual conquests were nothing more than a celebration.
Is it?
Never have I ever had a man in those formative years tell me that my actions have consequences. And because I'm a slightly disagree with you. Okay, I ain't gonna slightly. I'm disagreeing with your ass completely. When you say that I never damaged a woman, well, you don't know that. Have you talked to all the women? Did they tell you? Well, listen, my experience with Jay was amazing, and I would do it again right now. Some of them, while they were maybe satisfied sexually, I'm gonna give you a props. Maybe you satisfied them sexually. Maybe you damaged them emotionally.
I'm still friends with every last one of them, except for the one that passed away, and the Wahite and the Asian that was over there across that
You
water.
destroyed that Wahite. I'm just playing. I'm just kidding.
Hey, just because you
So you still cool with the pastor's daughter?
With the black girls, still friends with every last one.
Even the pastor's daughter?
Well, I don't really associate with her. She's older than I am, much older, so I don't really get with her too much. But
because I can tell you this 100%, I'm friends with a lot of the people that I was ever with. But here's the thing: you don't know if you ever damaged them unless you ask them.
Say what now?
You don't know if you damaged them until you ask them.
Have you ever asked them?
You can be friends with them all day long.
Because I've asked. I said that last Tuesday. I've asked. I went back and asked some of them. And I said, hey,
Tuesday.
This didn't work out, huh? It's like, nah, there was some, So, and I felt like I had to make some things right. So I'm saying they might not hate you, but that don't mean you ain't leave somebody strolled around the street.
And one thing black women are great at is never showing their cards when they're hurt.
They know how to survive. Black women know how to survive now.
I have to disagree with you on that. It just depends on the magnitude of it. Some of us can't hold our cards very well because a lot of us were trained old school. But then some of us be like Bernadette blowing up a car, kids from cars. So you can't say that we good at holding it because
it's a lot less Bernadettes out there than it is
there isn't.
The ones
No. They're still there. Trust and believe. They're just grandmothers.
But still, but until you ask them if you really hurt her or not, you don't really know till you ask that question.
Right, you don't know. Yeah.
You know when you have to go to that bathroom because the food don't taste spice right.
I didn't know I was muted. Some of them won't give you the satisfaction.
Right.
I won't give you the satisfaction of making you think that you hurt me. You probably did. And it probably was real bad. But you best believe it may never cross these lips to let your tail know that you did that to me. Bruh, keep it moving. As far as you know, all is well. And thank the Lord for grace and mercy.
Exactly.
The challenge that I'm having.
I'm a firm believer of that, but trust and believe. You'll hear from you'll reach out to me before I reach out to you, and I'm still holding true to that fault right there.
The challenge I'm having with this conversation is because I'm seeing some things that I wasn't expecting to see tonight. Is the man side of it? Because if we don't interrupt the mindset of the black man, of the broken community black man, just today, as we were coming on the air, a story is breaking. I'm still trying to confirm it completely. I have two sources, but I don't have the one that I'm waiting for. But just today, there's a subtle announcement of Mr. Cannon's 8th, 9th, and 10th child.
Wait, 8th, 9th, and 10th?
9th and 10th child.
And all three women are pregnant at the same time.
So my thing is, if you don't interrupt some of these brothers, woo, Lord.
Come on, sir. I mean, come on.
I learned a long time ago. I remember I was talking to this one dude, and his parents, his mother gave me the advice that still rings true to this day. And she said, "Baby," she said, "there's going to be a time when you need to close your hand and open them legs. And then when the time calls for it, you close the legs and you open your hand." And the women that he's been messing with, just letting everything be out. They just want they got the head, they got the leg, they got the mouth.
Nick may be the worst example for this type of conversation. So I don't want to make him the standard.
Too late.
But no, it's not too late, because the reality is he may not be the standard. He may be an outlier that just is wild, whatever. But I think the reality of his unresolved whatever that's causing him to think that this is okay is prevalent to this conversation, because like Cuz said earlier, and I always listen, I'm full transparent. I'm so grateful for Cuz for his transparency. I don't even know I can't begin to tell y'all. It is refreshing to have someone not be afraid to share in these difficult moments. So I wanted to say that as well. I know he didn't need me to say it, but I'm saying it anyway. Damn it.
Yeah.
Okay. But my point is there are so many men that never get to the place where they want to fix this, where they want to defend. They carry this mindset of that it's just legs, it's just a mouth, it's just an act, it's just, and they never, ever, ever, ever get to that place where they want to fix this type of thing. And so, and I think it's more real than we like to admit that it is, which is why there are so many, like you say all the time, Cuz, broken women, because it is more real than we like to admit that it is.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe that's why his show about that. Maybe that's the reason why his show getting canceled. He messing around too many.
I don't need his show to get canceled. He got too many kids not to be working.
He gonna work, but his show's canceled. Because
he got too many kids. He need to be working. Who's gonna take care of him?
Yeah, we need to start a petition. Don't cancel that show.
Yeah.
I'm not starting a petition for that man. Shoot, I need a petition for my job. I don't need no. Why am I gonna start a petition for? Listen, he made his choice. That man's 40 years old. He want to have 10 kids. Let him have 10 kids. That's his business. Mariah Carey ain't got to worry about that. She's like, my kids are straight.
I don't want to pay for his kids though. I want to keep paying for them.
Yeah, I don't want to pay for all them kids.
Who?
Can let me ask you a question. Let me ask everybody a question here, panelly, if I can say it that way. Can any of this be reversed? And if so, how? How do we reverse this? How do we these trends?
Any of what?
Reverse what?
These patterns of
dysfunction.
Yeah. To the point where we can defend Black women in any and every situation they need to be defended. To the point where we can't defend Black men.
How you get the non-defenders to defend? Because I'm not gonna say all Black men don't defend. There's a lot of Black men that will defend their Black women.
But it may not be enough, is what I'm saying. Like, how do we recruit to the army?
Right. So the question is, how do you get more Black men to defend their Black women?
Build Noah's Ark and wait on the boat for it to all get cleared out again.
Oh my God.
I mean, the pattern in which you are referring to is deeply rooted into our history.
So we just give up, Yvonne? We just give up?
I mean, I didn't say give up, but you're talking about
you literally just said flood the earth.
Because we're not going to be alive long enough to see it to the degree at which you wanted to, because this stuff, the way that this relationship between Black men and Black women has been deeply rooted since slavery days. When a Black man is sitting there seeing his wife or his common wife being raped by master or being sold into slavery or their children being taken away, and then she's sitting there seeing him getting his ass whooped all the time, or being castrated, or being maimed, and all of that, and they're both trying to figure out like what's left of us to where you'll respect us. So you're trying to ask us to fix something that has been part of this history, this country, a part of our history in this country for centuries. Within the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, 5, 10, 15
But I don't see this as purely a white man problem anymore. This is our problem now. I understand what you're saying, but okay.
The topic is black men and black women in the relationship. Right. We give up on each other.
How do we fix our problem? Where do we start? How do we fix this?
Well, better question. When do you say enough is enough? Until you say enough is enough, you can't fix the problem.
Right.
So when you say, you know what, we gotta stop this shit. We gotta stop this perpetual black men hate black women, black women hate black men. When do we stop saying that? When does it become, man, you know what? I love my black women. When do it become, man, I love my black men? When did you start saying that more than I can't stand
that nigga. I can't stand that beat.
Yeah.
All black women, all y'all want is money for your weaves and all this stuff. Y'all just look fat and ugly, and you ain't got no kids, and no man want all that.
Yeah. Well, Kevin Samuels died, so that takes
like the fact that you had a list ready.
Yeah, Kevin Samuels took care of 10%. His ass is in heaven or hell, wherever the hell he's at. So that took care of.
But do you know that even though that man died, there is 50+ men who are waiting to take up his mantle and continue on that movement?
How do we stop them? How do you stop them?
So here's what I believe the answer to the question is.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at it the way Yvonne is looking at it, and I understand exactly what she's saying, it's too much to chew. It's too big. It's too deep. You can't solve it that way. You have to solve it one family at a time.
That's right.
One black man at a time.
That's right.
Which means we have to let black men know their value to their family, to the people that they are responsible for, to the people in their circle. I've said it 101 times on this show. All that I could do, I don't do because I know that it will negatively impact my family.
But cuz fixing it one family at a time is fixing the problem. I'm not going to go grab one family. If I look at 300,000 black men who have a family today, and I tell them, be a man, support your black women, love your black women. Fuck all the other stuff that you've heard. Sorry. Forget all that dumb shit that you was ever taught. Do what's right. Is that not fixing this? Is that doing the exact same thing you said do with one family? So you can fix the problem. Black people are the worst when we say our first answer to everything is it's too hard to do. As soon as we hear the word hard, black people fold. We fold.
Can I say something?
Of course you can. That's why we brought you on here.
So I don't think it's as soon as we hear the words too hard. I think it's as soon as we hear I'm going to do something different. We become crabs in a bucket. Let's just be honest. That's what it is. You see somebody else going and doing something, trying to be right. Oh, you doing too much. You doing too much. And they ready to pull you down. They not happy. And it's not everyone. We also have to acknowledge the fact that some of us we are building up kings and queens. Some of us are saying, I love my black man. I love my black queen. We are saying that. Some of us are saying that. We are supporting each other, but some of us are not. So we have to first acknowledge that some of us are doing that. Some of us are doing what we can, right? I agree that, yes, it does start one family at a time, but we also have to acknowledge that it's happening in some cases. You know, you see it a lot like with social media, especially like with, you know, these a lot of students going to like HBCUs and they're really embracing Black culture. And we also have to not glorify the wrong things.
Exactly.
That's a big thing. We're glorifying money, we're glorifying beauty, what beauty looks like. We're not really redefining beauty. We're allowing um, we're allowing our Black women, let's just say, and it's not just them, but we're allowing our Black women to be ridiculed, like Sora was talking about, for weaves and wanting to get our hair done and or nails and things done. Meanwhile, we still have to meet a certain standard. Otherwise, they're not even going to be looking at us. They're going to be going to look at the bad bees, right? Or someone of a different race, because the standard for us is so high. It's really unrealistic, to be quite honest. It's unrealistic. So we have to learn to come together, acknowledge what people are doing, and those who are going against the grain, allow them to go against the grain. You know, we have to stop, and I'm guilty of this. Oh, Black people don't do that. Black people don't do that. When we do something different. And I'm going to tell y'all, I'm weird. I do weird things. And
Nothing wrong with that. You still finer. Don't worry about it.
Thank you, love. But I still am Black. My experience is a Black experience. Doesn't matter. It's still a Black experience. If I want to go out here and do hockey, I'm not going to do hockey. But I'm just saying, if I want to go out here and play hockey, you know, I should be able to go out here and play hockey and it not be one of those things. Oh, Black people don't do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Go
ahead, Mama Lord.
I think. Go ahead, Mama.
Because I know you. I was trying to get everybody to comment on the. What are your thoughts?
Queen.
Wow, it's so much that we're talking about. I'm lost in the sauce. I'm sorry. You can go to somebody else.
Can I say one more thing real quick? I want to acknowledge this. I don't even know if she's watching this, but our soror from our chapter, OD, Tiandra, every daggum week, every week, she says, Black men, how y'all doing?
Yeah.
Every week.
Yeah.
I just want to acknowledge that.
Okay.
Yeah. She does a wellness check.
So we get a wellness check for Black women. What's the wellness check for Black women we need to put out there?
Well, can it be a wellness check?
No, we ain't doing
Y'all
hey,
still
boo,
here?
Okay, all right.
I was going to say, is it real wellness check or is it one of them? How you doing? No.
Are y'all still here?
Y'all still here.
All right, go ahead, cuz. Go ahead, cuz.
So here's how I believe the one man at a time model is the only way we can really fix the problem.
Mm-hmm.
We have to, as men, be very intentional and live out loud with the good that we do. People must know the good that we do. We can't hide because somebody gonna say you pee whooped, or you a sim, or whatever.
You're gonna try to be hip. Get the lingo right.
Exactly. You're gonna do it right.
That's what a P is.
Whatever.
Not a P.
I'm sorry. Because it's so imperative that we show other Black men the possibilities of being a good Black man, a good husband, and a good dad, and a good citizen. I can't tell you, and I don't know if you guys know anything about me other than the foolishness I say on here. I can't tell you the number of guys that I've had an impact on as a husband and as a father.
Very true.
I'm telling you, it is real. Now, that ain't me tooting my own damn horn. I'm telling you the gospel. Guys come to me all the time. Jay, man, I wish I had done what you're doing. Jay, man, I'm going to do When I have a kid, I'm going to do what you're doing. What you're doing is amazing. And more black men need to know about it.
If you want the Cowboys fan, I would say yeah, but I can't go with that.
But he's right though. No mean to cut you off,
You totally meant to cut him off.
You're right, I did. But we as black women, we can't talk to you all like you need to be talked to. You're not going to hear it from us because the majority of people in the generation that I'm coming from and afterwards, unfortunately, did not have that 2-parent home. They were raised by single parent mothers, you know, so they didn't have the example that you cuz are showing out there on a consistent basis, you know, to where you guys can have that dialect, where y'all can have that man talk. For me, it's like me trying to teach my nephew how to go to the bathroom. I can't do that. I'm not a man. I can't tell him that. That's like for you. So for you to be able to lead by example, I thank you for setting the example up to show men on what it means to be the provider, to be the head of the household, what that looks like. You're not about the talk. You walk it. You know, the last time I saw black men that actually came together to do that was on October 16th, 1995 at the Million Man March. That was the last time I saw a gorgeous number of black men coming together, regardless of how people felt about it. That was the last time I saw that many black men coming together talking about raising their standards. Now, whether they all did that at home, I can't say that. But
about 800,000 black men, 200,000 women, so it wasn't really all black men.
I agree with what you're saying there. I definitely understand it. The problem with those large groups, those feel-good moments, it's kind of like church. You feel real good in church. Then you take your ass home, it's a different story.
Yeah, in the moment.
That's why it's one man at a time. One man has to impact a man, has to impact a man, has to impact a man. We have to do it as men. So I'm always asked, Jay, why are you so hard on men? Because I live out loud as a man. And I can't allow what the foolish shit that men do to hurt their wives and their families. I can't allow that to be okay. I make a concerted effort every day to be who I am in my family's life. And we have to share that one with another to make us believe, you know what, man, shit, it's okay to do that. I have a friend of mine right now that's getting ready next week after, I think it's next week. He's getting ready to take his 2 kids on a trip for a month. A whole month.
Wow.
Just him and his 2 kids. Who did he get that idea from? I'm not tooting my horn.
You just tooted it. You just tooted the shit out of that horn.
You goddamn horn. You passed 2 going.
I'm telling you, this is key.
You sound like a parade coming down the street. You tooting that shit so loud.
I'm telling you,
but let me say this though. I don't have a problem with the tooting. In fact, the only addendum that I would add to what you just said is that I do agree that we got to do it one at a time, and the influence has to be one at a time. But it has to be not done in the shadows, and that's really the problem. Everything that we've done to this, and it kind of goes to what Anthony Bruce is saying. I'm not a fan of the don't get me, we'll have to do a show about the Million Man March. That's a whole nother conversation. But I'm not a fan of, because you can say the same thing about Promise Keepers. I've never seen so many men come together and make a commitment and blah, 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 blah. Well, yeah, niggas made a commitment that day, but then they went back in the shadows and hid and did whatever they was going to do, and we don't know what happened to that thing. My point is, what Jay is talking about and what Cuz is talking about, it has to be so loud that the standard changes. And now I'm gonna pick on this guy purposely for the purpose of this story. So now when a Nick Cannon does the things that he's doing, we're collectively saying, not to bash or to demean or to make him feel like an asshole, but just to simply say, yo, bro, you gotta calm down. The people that
cut the shit off.
okay. And listen, to be honest with you, it's so much bigger than deeper than just that. It's you, bro, you are making your life harder and your kids' life harder than it has to be. And you think money is going to solve all of those problems, and it's not. Because I guarantee you, in 20 years, the conversation at that picnic table in the park or that restaurant or in the back of your house or whatever it is going to be, Daddy, you wasn't there for me. Well, damn, I got 10 kids. I can't be there for everybody.
I mean, who's his people, though? Like, who's his people?
I don't want to make this about right. I don't want to make this just about Nick. My point is that
no. But I mean, when you're talking about because we're talking about accountability, and what I appreciate, Cuz right there being so loud in again in his example, it's about accountability. He has held accountability to a high standard in his life that is continued to be shown through exemplary work and what he does in home and in his community. Not everybody has that level of accountability in their life. People don't hold, if you don't have accountability and integrity on that standard level there, all that other shit don't mean anything. So that's why I can appreciate Cuz and you other gentlemen on here and everybody on here, because the simple fact is that when you have accountability and integrity going hand in hand, then you were able to have these kind of conversations to check people like, hey, bro, you might want what's really the deep-rooted issue here? You ever thought about getting a vasectomy? You ever thought about, I don't know, twisting it up, putting a little twisty tie on that shit to hold it down? Because you sitting there saying one thing, but then you got 2 more kids coming out on the side of the road. Like, what the hell?
Well, Vaughn, let me stop you right there and be very clear. I'm never going to talk to another man about his penis, so that's not going to happen.
I'll tell a nigga the heartbeat get a vasectomy.
Right. I might say that, but now you're talking about that either. So
I'm gonna give Cuz his bitch moment, because Cuz gonna say this is a bitch moment. But I'm gonna let him have his bitch moment, because I'm a guy I got daughters and I got sons. Just as much pressure I'm putting on my sons to be a man is the same amount of pressure I'm putting on my daughters to be women. If you want to be that woman, you got to check your other, and sorry ladies, you have to check your other females. Women have to start holding each other just as accountable as I want men to hold each other accountable. It's a two-way street. We're never going to succeed without each other. We're never going to be the race of people that we need to be without each other. It's not going to happen. Regardless how much Cuz says, always about the man. No, we are never going to be a society if it's not about each other. We have to work together. We both have to have accountability. We both have to have the same standards in order for us to be the top echelon of the races that we want to be. So we got to hold each other accountable. Men got to hold men accountable. Women have to hold women accountable. We cannot let the same bullshit constantly keep going. It may sound like a bitch move, because you may say, Ron, you're being a bitch because you're saying women got to do the same thing as men. But honestly, my family doesn't work the way that it works today without me and my wife being partners 50-50.
I agree.
It doesn't work. She has her good days. I have my good days. She got her bad days. I have my bad days. We argue, we fight, but goddamn, we come back together at the very end. But it does not work until both of us decided to come together to do this shit right.
So here's my point to your statement. And I think everybody on here understands exactly what you just said and could nod north and south that we agree. But here's my problem with the statement. Even if it takes a woman longer to straighten up her act, even if it takes a woman, even if she never straightens up her act, I still have to be a man in that woman's life. Period. I can't hinge. I can't say I'm not gonna do right because she's not doing right. I can't do that. I'm not gonna be this because she's not being that. I can't do that. Our society can't afford that. Your family can't afford that.
Your family would never grow if she doesn't grow.
I agree, Ron. I agree.
Period.
I agree. But
So
Ron,
you can be a man. You can be a man to the day your black ass die. But if she doesn't put that 50% in with it, your kids are going to suffer. Your neighborhood is going to suffer. Your community is going to suffer.
But is it always 50-50 with you? But is it always 50-50 for those of y'all married? Is it always 50-50? Because I could sworn that some of the people that I talked to that are married, which is pretty much everybody on this thing except me, is that sometimes it's going to be a 70-30, a 60-40. Is that not true?
It's always 50-50.
Yes, it's true in my book.
It should always be that, but I don't think it necessarily is. But I don't even look at it as being 50-50. I look at it as you both should be given 100, 110.
I agree. You never heard me say, I don't know about the 50-50.
I understand what you're saying. I'm not trying to meet you halfway. It's that let me give you my all and you give me my all.
Right.
But what was it that you just said? Something you said, and I wanted to agree. Oh, so you said, and I'm bad with names. I know faces, but I'm bad with names. But you
talking about Ron?
Right here.
Uncorked Wine, Mr. Night Noise.
No, not Uncorked, not Ron. Right here.
Cuz.
Yeah.
Ron runs the green shirt. Pink. is Cuz.
It's Cuz then. Cuz said that. I'm sorry, Cuz. I'm gonna get that right. Okay, my apologies. Thank you for doing that.
Put the name up there.
Thank you.
I mean, what is happening right now?
But what you said is one of the things that I always have tried to tell my son. Listen, you treat a woman like a lady, regardless of whether you think she's acting like a lady or not. It is your responsibility to always treat her like a lady. If you don't hit a woman, if she hits you, you don't hit her back. You walk away if you can. This is what I always teach my son. So I just wanted to say that I agree with you on that part.
And the part about the 100-100, okay? So the problem with that is, y'all be talking this old pie in the sky bullshit. Everybody got time for that. The problem with that is, even at your 100, you're at a deficit.
No,
let's keep it real. Even at your 100%, if you are broken, you're still at a deficit because you're doing all that you know to do. It doesn't mean that it's all you can do. It doesn't mean that it's all right. See, when I come from brokenness, I'm digging myself out of a hole. I'm trying to do better, but I don't know because I haven't been taught.
Okay, but wait.
But the problem is you're trying. The difference between trying and not trying. So you're right, but you're always trying.
But still, if you're 100%, if you are a healthy, halfway whole kind of person, you know what 100% looks like. You know what's supposed to be done.
Right.
There are young ladies, and let's be honest, there are young men that don't have a clue what that really looks like. They're doing the best they can,
right?
The best they know to do, but they're still short.
Which is what?
So are they supposed to not give 100 because they short?
No, you're supposed to give 100.
Then what are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Because you should always still strive for it. I mean, you go take a test, you're still trying to get 100%.
Yeah,
you may end up with 78, 80, 85, 90%, but your goal should always be 100, whether you make it or not. I mean, we're not going to be perfect. We're never going to get it exactly right, but the goal should always be to try to, not in a sense of to outbless each other and not in a sense of competition, but I should be blessing you. You should be blessing me. It should be an out blessing thing. I want to lift my man up. He should want to lift me up. We should want to be good for each other. I need to I need to do what I can. He's going to be a man regardless, but it is my job to help him to be a better man, just like it is his job to help me to be a better woman. That doesn't mean that makes us a man or a woman. It just means that we should be lifting each other up and trying. And if we're not trying, then what are we doing? Why are we even?
Patrice, you said it better than I ever could. Where you cash at?
Okay, so did you see? This is an extreme example, but it's I think a good example.
Watch what you say now.
Naomi Judd just died.
Yes.
Killed herself.
Yeah.
She suffered from mental illness. But she was married to her husband quite some time, long time.
Mm-hmm.
And that man was giving his all to his wife and his family.
Mm-hmm.
But she couldn't give. She said in her own book, in her own story, out of her own mouth, that she would go home and lay on the couch for 2 weeks at a time. She wouldn't even practice good hygiene. Now that's an extreme view of it. But she was doing the best she could. So wherever your wife is short, wherever your husband is short, that doesn't mean you stop giving or you don't give as much as you can. The problem with too many black men is they say, if a woman don't do, I ain't gonna do. And that's a reality of a lot of us. So we say we gonna be less than a man because she ain't the full woman she's supposed to be.
No. We're saying
that's what we're saying.
No, we're saying the exact same thing Patricia's saying. We want her to put in the same goddamn effort. Now, your effort may take you 10 years to get there, but goddamn it, you're gonna get there at some point. You have to work at this shit as a partnership.
Listen, if we only cared about effort, then we wouldn't have such a high divorce rate. If we only cared about effort.
Divorce ain't shit about effort. Divorce is all this materialistic shit that people want to go get $50,000 weddings and 2-carat diamond rings and that bullshit.
But yeah, because I'm gonna take issue with what you just said, because the reality is the irreconcilable difference is literally them saying, I don't think you've given enough effort. That's what you're saying. You're saying your ass is over here failing, and I'm not gonna sit here and let you fail in front of me. I'm not getting what I need from you. But I'm gonna use your same example, Naomi Judd, because I think that's a powerful example. You said it did come out today that she committed suicide, that she took her own life, right? The thing that I take honor in is that she never pointed the gun to him. So she did give 100%. She gave as much as she was capable of giving. Now, that's not to say that it's all going to end up in roses and butterflies. You hope that it will. That is the hope that we can change paradigms in our society and in our children's lives because we're both giving everything that we got. But that's not always true. You're right. It is not always true. And guess what? The Bible even says that the strong will sometimes bear the infirmities of the weak. So your wife may be weaker in some areas, and you may have to pick up the slack, and vice versa. But as long as we're all trying, I think the 100% is rooted and grounded in the attempt, not necessarily the outcome.
That's exactly right.
That's it.
The results are going to be different. They're probably going to be different because you're two different people. Even though you come together as one, you're two different people. But if you both are trying and you're both giving your all, Naomi, it is a great example. But with Naomi, she gave what she could, and the mental health issue, the deficit, that is something completely different.
Right.
It's that level of effort.
That's
another conversation, right?
That's an entirely different conversation because she's been dealing with that for decades.
Did he bail?
Spoken on that multiple times.
He did not. But the bottom line is he wasn't getting what he wanted. That's the point.
And he stuck it out. Right.
There are a lot of men that step out on their wives because another woman is telling him that she can do what the wife ain't doing.
Well, that's because there's a shortage.
But again, who said he was not getting what he wanted? He may have been getting what he wanted because he knew in his heart exactly what she was going through. So he was getting what he wanted. You assume he was not getting what he wanted because he ain't having sex with it. Doesn't mean he wasn't getting what he wanted.
I mean, we don't know what's going. We don't know what happened in that household. We don't know what decisions, what contracts, what agreements they had with each other. He was there until the very end. Unfortunately, the end where she took her own life. That says a lot.
Right. And then
especially in this day and age when you're talking about mental health, because that's a topic that's always been taboo within our community. We don't talk about that. We can't barely get people to sit there and admit saying they're going to a therapist. And yet now with the pandemic, everybody's like, I'm having mental health issues. I need to talk to somebody. Like, well, who are you talking to? I don't know. So that in itself is a whole nother conversation.
But I do understand. I do understand what Cuz is saying in that a lot of men do bail. That we're in this foxhole, we're in this fight together, or it looks like we're supposed to be, and then because you run out of bullets and you get tired and don't want to shoot no more, he says, well, if you ain't gonna support me in this fight, then I'm gonna go back and retreat. But that's not how fights work. That's not how this is supposed to work. If we end this together, we end this together. So I get what you're saying. I just think as long as we're in there giving the effort together, and by the way, I am fully aware.
That's what you think. And I don't agree with that.
Right. But what I'm also saying, because listen, black man, I'm trying to give your ass some props. Shut the hell up. So
you don't have to give me no goddamn prop. I told you about that.
Oh shit.
Well, then he's an asshole and don't listen to nothing he say. Okay, there you go. So no, what I was gonna say before he rudely interrupted me is that I agree in the fact that I gotta fight when she can't fight. I gotta fight when she's incapable of fighting. I gotta stick. But you didn't say it as well as I did. The way you said it sounded raggedy. I said it very eloquently and it sounded beautiful.
And also, may I add, let's just talk about the economics of it. We talk about what he wants. How about let's talk about the difference between wants and needs.
Man, big difference.
But most people don't analyze that. She's not pleasing me. I'm not happy.
Those are kids.
I'm not happy comes in all the time.
All the time.
Those are kids.
Yeah, I don't disagree with what you're saying.
We fail because we're not happy. Come on.
Well, we also have to look at why. I mean, I think if we look at a situation where we're talking about mental health with like Naomi, that's different than like a completely different. It's a completely different situation from like, remember the last time I was on here, we were talking about Will and Jada. There's abuse there. Abuse. I think she's a narcissist. And it's really sad because I like Jada. But there's abuse in that situation. So now we're talking about wants, needs, and abuse. And whether or not a person should stay in a situation like that.
But can I throw the ultimate curveball before we I know we got to get ready to close here in a minute, but can I throw the ultimate curveball? I'd like to see us as black men and black women get to the point where we support each other when there's nothing to gain.
Thank you. Say it one more time, please, for the people in the back.
That's ultimately what I'm saying. Like the situation that happened with the coach at Delta State. She's on this bus. She gets pulled over for no reason whatsoever. They and these racist bastards checking these young ladies' bags and checking, y'all might have some marijuana, and let me explain what that might be. All that shit that they did. We need to stand with that sister and say, hey, we want these white men held accountable for what they did. I have nothing to gain. I'm not going to sleep with this woman. She's not going to be my wife. I don't get anything for helping her, but we need to stand with her because she's our sister.
Let me speak on that because that sister is our soror, a member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, and I talk to her every day because I work there. So I know exactly what's going on. And you are absolutely right. This woman here is this whole thing happened April 20th. Y'all are just now finding out about it, but this situation took place in April 20th. And so now the governor of Delaware is involved. The senator is involved. Our president of the university, President Tony Allen, he is very close to Uncle Joe Biden, the current president of the United States. He was Joe Biden's speechwriter for 15 plus years. We have the U.S. Department of Justice about this whole situation. And so this thing is just the tip of the iceberg. And I am literally calling her almost 3 or 4 times a day, checking on her, seeing if she's okay, because this thing is just gone so far out that it's mentally taking a toll on her and the girls and the families. And you know, this is not something that can no longer stay quiet. It hasn't been. It's just building and building. So,
well, Yvonne, let me say this. Let me just say
real.
this to you. Let me just say this to you. If you would like to, you can tell us. And I'm not just saying I want to support her because she's a Zeta. That is irrelevant. I wouldn't care what sorority she plays. Right. But if you would like to have her to come on and so she can be helped and restored and all that stuff, feel free to reach out, and we'll be glad to have her on this platform and to let her tell the story. And then we try to do the best we can to get the story out there even more. Because here's the reality. If we don't support, if we don't watch out for us, who will?
Facts.
Say that again for the people in the back. Watch out for who?
Us.
We have to. This is
because you say this all the time in your own way. We all we got, but we all we need. We all we need. We got to stop waiting on somebody to rescue us. We can rescue ourselves.
We got 2 legs, we got 2 feet, we got a mouth, we got a mind. We need each other.
Mm-hmm. Can't survive without.
So, but I'll definitely pass the message on to her right now, because graduation's happening. This is, like I said, I talked with her early today, and it's getting to her. It really is, because at the time when it was all going on, I literally spoke to her like 20 minutes after they left the scene of the situation. She was so shook. She said, I just want to get home to my family safe. I just want us to get back home safe.
Did they ever? Well, that's a whole nother conversation. We'll have to. I would love to have her come on and just because she definitely needs our support and to be restored and to be empowered again. To you know, something was taken from them that day.
Yeah,
and they need it back. And the way to get it back is for us as Black men and Black women to say, no. You didn't lose anything. They tried to steal it from you, but you're still you.
No, when you say that, first thing I think about is when we were kids, my mama would be like, keep your hands where people can see them. You know, don't be fidgeting with your pockets like you put something in your pocket. You go to the store, make sure they give you a receipt. And all the other things they would say to us because of the stuff they went through. You know, I keep thinking, and as soon as I said that, my mind went straight to Trayvon Martin, you know, who just had the Arizona tea can and some Skittles in his pocket. Or as soon as somebody, or Tamir Rice, who had, you know, the fake, you know, the play gun, and you going, okay, we are a people that have to continually tell our kids, listen, you know, you ain't got no money, keep your hands where, you know, don't do this, don't do that. It's almost like we're not trying to instill fear in them, but at the same time, you trying to protect them to keep them from being.
But that's my point. That you're making my point for me. That's why we don't have time, to Cuz's point, to be trying to create this thing that we got now, where Black men are against Black women, or we don't respect them, or we're not setting the right example, or we don't honor our Black women. We ain't got time for that. There's too many other shit to fight. So now we fighting each other, and that's too much. We got to fix us. We got to get us in order so we can fight the other stuff together.
Was it Napoleon, when he the one that said the fastest way to beat them all is make them beat themselves?
Wow.
Woo! You Black people something else. I tell you, I like y'all.
You beat yourself. You ain't worried about nobody else beating you.
Yeah.
And that's true. That's true. So, but they're
It
hanging
might
in
not have been
there.
Napoleon. It was one of them crazy ass people that killed a bunch of people. I don't know if it was Napoleon. It was one of them that said it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's a lot. The girls are hanging in there. They're just again, you're talking about 17, 18, 19-year-old, 20-year-old girls on the bus from being in Florida, driving back to Delaware. So a lot of them didn't even have interaction with the police. For this, the first time they've ever interacted with the police, and they're like, "What the fuck?"
Hell, like was it the
Well,
one girl
Listen,
who grandmama gave her a gift, told her not to open it till she got home.
And the
But
police, yeah,
then the police
they
opened
did
it
it.
up and see what's in it, and it was a graduation gift that she was, how come I
Yeah.
hold on to it till you got home? I mean, come on.
Right. It's trauma. And
Yeah.
some of these and what they're going through right now is just the tip of the iceberg when you're talking about PTSD. I don't want to have to hear a story within the next 5 months or 3 months or 2 weeks or whatever, where we having these kids who are feeling like they need to take matters in their own hands, because we already had situations like last week when you heard about the girl from Southern University who couldn't feel right within herself and she decided to just take her own. Not to say that's going to happen with our girls. God, I'm praying that's not. But this shit is real. So we need each other. We need our Black men to be there for us, and vice versa. Because when stuff like this happens, we don't all know what's going on behind closed doors. Just like what happened with Naomi Judd.
Yeah. And I'm thankful that we have social media nowadays. I mean, I know a lot of times it's like nothing is private anymore, and that's good and that's bad. But I do remember once when I was online and we.
Did you speak online? What are you?
I'm sorry. What was that?
We were getting in, because it happened in the 90s, so I can say this. We were getting in our Dean's car. Yep, long time ago. We were getting in our Dean's car, and she couldn't get the door shut, and she had like an old Datsun, Mel's car.
Yeah.
And the daggone people called the police on us because they said we were still in the car. So by the time we got in the car, got the door shut, got down the road here, the police pulled us over. We had our hands in the air, and we had to keep our hands in the air. Meanwhile, on our way somewhere, and just keep our hands there while they searched and talked to Mel and went through everything. It was traumatizing. And then, proceeded to have like a meeting or whatever. But it was just a traumatizing experience. But, there were no camera phones at that time. Right. So I just say that I'm thankful that, nowadays we have these cell phones that are able to capture this foolery that's going on, because now we can help bring more awareness and have more accountability for all this ish that's going down.
Yeah.
So
with that, and I didn't want camera phones back when we was coming up, because there was some shit we just did not want on tape.
And I agree.
True. Yep.
Listen,
we got VHS for a reason. There's VHS in the head for a reason.
Man, listen, a few weeks ago, I was talking to somebody a few weeks ago, because this young cat, he had the audacity to sit there and say he was going to Atlanta to Freaknik. And I just busted out laughing because I said, "You going where?" He said,
"Freaknik still exists."
No, it just came back, but it's not really. It's not really Freaknik.
Oh, okay.
It's a picnic.
Going to a picnic. He ain't
It's
going
a
picnic.
Is what it started out to be.
Right.
Yeah.
But my point is that I told him, I said, "Looky here." I said, "You don't understand the magnitude of that event that took place for a few years. Because if we had the type of technology and devices, TV, cameras and all that, I told them people would not have their jobs, people would not be married, people would be in jail, people would be dead, people would not be where they are." I said, so we missed that wave.
Yeah.
And we are grateful.
Saved us.
Wow.
There's a lot of charges out there right now on VHS.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my.
And Polaroid, there's a lot of charges in the
Yeah. There's a lot of
Polaroid.
camcorders that you need that VCR. You need that VCR to replay, that aura. not VCR, the VCR raw. That overhead camera.
Yara. Yep.
We have had an amazing time here tonight. I'm sure we have probably taken people on an emotional roller coaster from the romantic escapades of Cuz Noise to the political intensities of our thoughts and here at the end our compassion that we have towards our sister and her situation. I want to thank you ladies for making it out here tonight and bringing a different perspective to this conversation. This is good, and we will continue to have these very challenging conversations because they are challenging and they push the boundaries of community that we've established. It's every time we have these conversations, and I think because I know you and Ron definitely will appreciate this. It makes me realize how normalized our dysfunction we've made it. Like you don't realize it until you really start having these conversations, and you go, "Wow, we really have made a lot of stuff just okay." And it takes podcasts that are or platforms, I'll say it this way, platforms that are truly unafraid of the difficult to tear that stuff down and or at least make people think. So I appreciate the candidness and the transparency of everybody on these screens today. It has been refreshing. And I hope people that are listening and will go back and listen later will hear it and see it that way. Because it's important for us to get to the other side. I think that's how you get to the other side. So, so thank you, ladies. Tomorrow, Black Friday, a lighter experience than this. But and then of course we'll have all our weekend activities. But thank you again, ladies, for pulling up on us. And to our brothers, we appreciate y'all as well. Being y'all.
It was nice meeting everybody. Thank you for having me at your house.
Exactly.
Ladies, y'all want a really light night? You want to have a really light time and really enjoy and say what you want to say? Come to Uncorked Wine. You can have a whole lot of fun.
Oh my gosh.
Ron is a big advocate.
Say that last part, Ron. What'd you say?
You want to have a lot of fun. Come to Uncorked Wine. Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central.
That is very true. It's a very, very different show from this one.
Oh my gosh.
Whole lot of alcohol.
Is that where the black light comes out in the lace mask and all of that? And the cat of nine tails?
We're not cat of nine. What the hell?
Whatever you want to put on, you can bring whatever you want to wear with alcohol.
Okay, so I'll make sure I bring the black light in the lace mask and the cat of nine tails for you, Ron. No problem. I got you.
What did we just 50 Shades of Grey?
Come on.
Apparently it's gonna be 50 Shades of Ron. I don't know. I was just asking.
What is happening right now? Let me end this before Uncorked Wine erupts tonight. Lord Jesus. Thank y'all noise makers for rocking with us. We appreciate y'all. Y'all have a wonderful evening.
I don't know what it is.
Stefan says she's talking my language.
There you go.
Okay, y'all.
You don't want this. As nice as you are. You don't.
Oh my God.
Well, those.